Help Freethought Hall be born again. You can become a part, literally, of the Freedom from Religion Foundation's building expansion. Your name, or a name in memory of a loved one, can be permanently inscribed in Freethought Hall's new entry vestibule on a handcrafted ceramic tile fashioned by a Madison, Wisconsin artist.
My name is Birgit Bach. I'm a tile maker. I make tiles by hand and primarily for installation. Well, I start with a large chunk of clay and then I pound that down. And at that point, I'll take a regular rolling pin and just start rolling it until it's about 1.5 to 2 inches thick. At that point, I transfer it to the table of my slab roller, where I will then roll it to the actual desired thickness that I want. Okay, so at this point, with these particular tiles, I would transfer the slab to another working surface and then cut out the specific size that I want using sort of a knife tool. The clay shrinks 12.5%, my particular clay, so I have to basically calculate what size the tiles are going to end up so that they'll fit in the space where they're going to be installed. Well, for tiles that I'm going to be imprinting names into, I have little letters that I can press into the clay, and the most important thing there is to get the letters lined up properly, centered, and pushed in the same amount, each letter. And so what I do is I measure where the center of the tile is, and then I actually use a chopstick as my guide stick to line up the letters along a straight line. And then I just leave the chopstick there and press the letters in one at a time, doing my best to evenly space them. Once the name is imprinted in the tile, I do a little bit of cleanup. There's always some scratches in the clay that have been formed by the process of pressing in the letters, and I clean up the edges and make them really nice and smooth. The next step is to let the tile dry, and that needs to be done under weight because clay has what we call memory. However it's been bent or molded in the past, when it dries, it will remember that shape that it had, and it will curl up or buckle, and we don't want that. We want flat tiles. Once the tiles are bone dry, and that means no water left in them as far as I can tell, I put them into the kiln for the first firing, which is called the bisque firing. That firing goes to about 1800 degrees and roughly takes a day. Once that firing is done, the tiles come out. I bring them back up to my studio and I glaze them, which basically means I paint glaze onto them. After I've glazed the tile, it needs to go back in the kiln again for the final glaze firing. This firing goes to about 2200 degrees, so it's quite a bit hotter, and that will create the final tile once that firing is complete. I enjoy working with the clay. I love to get my hands dirty. I love the fact that you can make absolutely any shape out of clay and practically any color. It just gives an artist a huge range of possibilities, and it's fun. Well, one of my favorite parts about making tiles is opening up the kiln after the final firing and seeing what comes out, because the glazes, when you put them on, when you paint them on, look nothing like they're going to look when they come out. And I love that. So I love opening it up, seeing all the bright colors. And once they're installed, it's even better, because then you see something that's lasting and beautiful, and you know that you made it, and it's a really great feeling.
There's still time to help FFRF and to purchase your vestibule tile. Or we can put your name or message on a pretty blue stone paver in the Rose Zerwick Memorial Garden and Courtyard at the newly reborn Freethought Hall. Thank you for your help. Freedom depends on freethinkers.